Hey there, it's Mike Coffey with MAPS Coaching. Today we're going to talk about a really fun subject. It's called our life by design. So we're going to go through a form that helps bring clarity on what your professional success needs to look like in order to fund that life by design, at least for the next year. And we can extrapolate it out even further. So I'm going to share this document with you. Once again, if you want a copy of the document, I am happy to share it. Just shoot me an email and we'll get that set up for you. And today, yeah, all right. So here's our Life by Design form. Now, before you can complete this form, you need to understand or know a few different numbers. Number one, you need to know your personal expenses. You need to know your business expenses. You need to know your tax rate or expected tax rate. You need to know your average income per sale. So we're talking with this form about real estate sales. Certainly you can just change that word for widgets, right? Know the average income that you earn per widget and know the cost of your dreams. So let's talk about how we go through this form. If you need to go gather the numbers, pause, go get your numbers and come back and restart this video. The first thing I like to do is just jump into the personal expenses because most people have a pretty good idea of what their personal expenses are on a monthly or annual basis. If they don't have a good idea, they can certainly get those numbers fairly easily by looking at their checking account, by looking at their credit card bills. So we've got your major personal expenses here, your house payment, food, utilities, monthly payments, pet care expense, child care, auto insurance repairs, health and life insurance, medical bills, entertainment, other. So if you've got a formalized budget, you can use those numbers here, but make sure you include at least those categories and maybe even leave a little bit of fudge factor, right, in case you've forgotten an item. So you want to total up those expenses for the year. Then we're going to drop to your business expenses. And there are two different categories that we look at. So we look at your cost of sale. So these would be variable expenses that you only pay when a sale is transacted or when a sale takes place. For real estate agents, you can think of anything that comes out of the commission check before you receive the check, right? In other businesses, it would be uh, other cost of sales, and you probably know what those are for your industry. And then we look at our overhead expenses. These can be fixed or variable, but we've got our major categories right here. So we want to calculate your total cost of sales per year and your total overhead expenses per year. The next item we do is we go up to our life by design and we put in how much money do we want to save on an annual basis and or monthly basis for things like savings, investments, charitable contributions, travel, fun, right? I always like to say with this section, it's a pre-designed plan on how we're going to spend our profit or our excess after we've paid our personal and our business expenses. The next step with this is to calculate your tax rate on that. So in other words, if you were at a 25% tax rate and you earned $100,000, you'd actually only receive 75,000 of those dollars, right? So if we want to fund our perfect life through the sale of widgets, we need to both pay for the taxes and fund our life with what's left over after taxes. So you put in your tax basis here and add that amount into your expenses. You total up those columns. Finally, you come to the bottom and you say, okay, in order to fund my life by design and pay the taxes on those funds, how many widgets would I need to sell to create the excess income to fund my life by design? How many widgets would I need to sell in order to fund my personal expenses? And how many widgets do I need to sell in order to fund my business expenses? We total up the total number of widgets that we need to sell over the course of the year to fund our personal life, our perfect life rather, our life by design. And now we have a plan that we can create that will actually get us to that number of widgets sold in order to fund our personal life, our business life, and our life by design. It's actually a lot of fun. It's not as complicated as it may look on the screen. If you want a copy of this, please shoot me an email. If you'd like some help in working through that, please follow one of the links below. Make it a great day.